Oh, howdy. You get to come up and you get admin, and I'll put you up. How's it going?
Hello?
Howdy, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, are you a good person?
Yeah, is this a Christian Q&A or no? 'Cause it said
Oh,
that
I took
before.
that out of the name. If you have questions for me, you can ask them, though.
Are you Christian?
Yes, I am.
Um, do you want to get into religion right now? Or
Well,
could you took it off the title?
I took it off the title, yeah, but, it's still about religion.
Oh, okay. Um, why did God get the order of creation wrong?
Why did God get the order of creation wrong? Could you tell me how he got the order of creation wrong?
Well, first, do you take it as to be a literal account?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what do you think about physics, first off? You think that works?
Um, yeah.
Okay, so in the beginning, let's start with I only care about the first 5 lines.
Mhm.
So that's all we're gonna address. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters.
Yeah.
What is that referring to?
That is referring to God creating the heavens and the earth. By
Earth as in like land, right? Like our physical
not
earth.
land. From what it says the Spirit of God hovered over the
Mm-hmm.
surface of the water, right? Um,
No,
uh,
no, I'm talking about before that. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The Hebrew translation of earth is Haris. And if you look at every single instance where this pops up into the Bible, it is talking about land. Let the air sprout, let the air spring forth. It's talking about vegetation here.
mhm.
And then also, if you scroll all the way out of Genesis, let's leave Genesis. There's a lot in Genesis. Okay, well, whatever. Regardless, every single instance where the word Harris is used, it's talking about land. There are
Yeah.
so many. Oh my god, I did not realize there were this many. But every single time it's talking about land.
Okay, yeah. Could you please find me which language did you say it was in?
Hebrew.
Could you please find me a word in Hebrew that means giant ball of water floating in space?
Of course it doesn't translate to that, but every instance in which this word is used, it's referring to land.
Yeah,
So we
and
could
could you
assume that
find
it's
me?
talking about land,
Yeah,
right?
no, in
Where
this
it
context,
what is
it's
it referring to
referring to
then?
the entire planet.
So yes, there we go. It's referring to Earth, right?
Yes.
Even
And
though it may not directly translate to Earth, it is referring to Earth, right?
yeah, and then later God calls up ground out of it. I know where your argument's going.
No, 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 no. That's not where my argument's going. I said the first 5 lines.
Okay, what about them?
Okay. The Earth was without form and void. By
Mhm.
without form, it just means every single instance where that's used, it's just talking about like disorderly, deserted. That's what it's talking about. It was just empty. It was just nothing on there, right? But it's still nothing on Earth, nothing on our land. That's what it's talking about, right? So that's reaffirming that there was an Earth, right?
I
I'll get to
think
my point. Just are
okay.
you? Is this correct? Is this following?
I think by Earth he's referring to the land mass
Yes, yes, yes. The whole
or
landmass,
the
yes.
the planet, which is currently
Yeah,
a
yeah.
giant
It's the
ball of
same thing.
water that has no shape or form.
Yeah, yeah, and it has water on it. That's important to my point.
Okay.
Um, it has water, and we know it's talking about actual water because every single instance in which that word is used. Let's see, which word is that? Hamayim. Every single time where that instance comes up, it's talking about actual water. You know, the surface of the waters.
Mhm.
The water dried up, so we know it's actually talking about water.
Mhm.
What did God mean by? So we know that that's what happened first,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. So what did God mean by "let there be light"?
He created
Okay.
light.
God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening, there was morning, the first day.
Yeah.
So it's not referring. We know it's not actually referring to God as being the light, because every single instance in which this Hebrew word is used, it's talking about like a flame. It's talking about an actual physical form of light. So can we assume that's the sun?
Yes.
Okay, so God created the sun after he created the earth.
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Here's what I want to say, right? So what you're saying is the Earth would like instantly freeze, and like what was holding the
The
solar
water
system in
on the earth would
balance?
freeze. Not only that, the
Yeah.
earth could not have formed without the sun, because the earth formed contingent on the gravitational pull of the sun. No
Yeah, okay.
sun, no
So
earth.
here's what I want you to think about, right? The context in which we're talking about this
Hmm.
conversation is a supernatural being beyond the laws of nature creating matter out of nowhere, right? He
Hmm.
obviously created, from this context, he
Yeah,
created matter, and he also created the laws of physics, right? If he created the
yeah,
laws of physics, why should he not sustain the water in a state where it was unfrozen? And why should
sure,
he not be
sure.
able
No,
to
I get your
control the
point.
gravity and place the
I get your
planets where he
point.
wants
I
them?
get your point. He could have done that.
Hmm.
He could have. An all powerful being could have done that, but he didn't, because we know that the sun is older than the earth.
We know that the sun is older than the earth. If you
Yes.
if you're going to try to use science to date the sun, that's fine, right?
I'm not trying to use science to date the sun. We
Okay.
did use science to date the
So
sun.
how can you
How?
prove that the sun is older than
Radiometric
the earth?
dating. Radiometric dating.
What?
Radiometric dating is not something that you could do on the sun in specific, I don't
It
think.
is. It is. It is.
Describe the
Because
process.
okay, so every day, about 40 tons of meteorites from the sun fall onto Earth,
What?
I
and
don't think
most
that's
of
the
them.
right
Listen.
terminology.
Most
I don't
it
think that's
it's it
true.
is. It is the
Meteorites?
sun. Yeah, the sun
Meteorites?
has solar flares, and on its
Those
and
are,
it fla- listen,
Meteorites
do
are
you
listen,
just mean
rocks.
and
radiation?
no, solar flares.
Yeah,
Like the
radiation.
magma.
That
Listen,
wouldn't be
listen.
meteorites.
The plasma from the sun, it it goes out of the sun and it enters our orbit, and on its way it freezes and cools down to a meteorite. You can look this all up. I'm not
What?
making this up.
You're saying
It cools down on its way to, and it forms into a rock,
I'm
and that rock falls onto Earth. Most of them burn up on its way to the orbit, but
I'm
I
regardlessly,
think that
some
that's
make it
believable.
bigger.
That's not a terrible
I'm awful
It's
exaggeration or
not, and
anything.
I'm awful
bigger
confused.
rocks can make it through.
Wait,
They
so I
fall onto
thought
Earth. Scientists can measure it through radiometric dating, and the way that radiometric dating works is they measure the decay
sorry.
of the elements.
First of
We
all,
can look up which element they measure the decay of in the sun
yeah.
specifically.
I'm familiar.
With
Hmm.
all of those things, they're completely based off of assumptions.
What
Yes.
assumption?
If you are going
You are
to,
assuming
sorry,
that the rate of decay is the exact same, right? That it's always been the same. That's an assumption. You're assuming that you knew how much of the element that you are looking into the isotopes for. You're assuming that you know how much it had before it reached whatever point you are testing it in. You're assuming that it hasn't been contaminated from some outside source, which is highly likely. There are many of these assumptions that bring the overall, I guess, grade very, very down. This is
Sure, but
why most radiometric dating processes that we utilize on the Earth for determining the dates of rocks or fossils are obscenely inaccurate. And we get situations like, I think about 20 years ago, they carbon dated using carbon-14. What was it? This flesh from a woolly mammoth. And both samples came from the exact same one, but they dated roughly 20,000 years apart. The margin for error is rather steep. And when it comes to certain radiometric dating processes like carbon-14 dating, well, carbon-14 only has a half-life of roughly 5,000 years. So that minimizes its effect to only probably about 50,000 years before you have no carbon-14 to date. So whatever carbon-14 you are dating in whatever organic material you find such as a woolly mammoth, it would not be the carbon that came from the actual animal when it was alive, but carbon from the atmosphere or from the rocks that surround it. It would be what we call contaminated. And contamination is a very, very difficult thing, especially when it comes to radiometric dating. If you can't figure out if it has or hasn't been contaminated, whatever date you come back with is going to be, I don't remember the exact ratios, but it's going to be really inaccurate. I don't think that there's any basis to use radiometric dating. I'm assuming you guys were talking about the age of the Earth. I don't think that you could use any sort of radiometric dating to prove or disprove the age of the Earth. I don't think that that's accurate enough.
Yeah, she was saying something about the Bible says that God created the earth as a water mass before he created the sun, and yet the sun is older than the earth, according to
And
that.
not only that, the
I
Earth's
see.
existence is contingent on the gravitational orbit of the sun. So,
Well, actually, it gets a
did-
little bit more in depth than just the Earth being made before the sun. It turns out that according to the Genesis account of creation, the Earth was made before the universe. The Earth stood before anything
even
else.
worse.
That's according to the biblical account.
yes, that's
But of
even
course,
worse.
none of this is impossible with
Yo,
God.
I
It is
wanna-
impossible without.
I want to say, what's the
Mm.
point of trying to hold the creation of matter and scientifically impossible things to science, right? Like, it's impossible for matter to come from nowhere, right?
Radiometric dating is very reliable,
No, it's
Okay.
not.
and
You just
it
looked that up.
is.
So
No, it is reliable.
here's the thing.
I
Here's the
just
thing.
explained how it's not.
You
Mr.
explained how
Okay.
carbon dating is a type of radiometric
Wait, hold
dating,
on.
but
So-
you
All of those
explained the
assumptions
issues-
that we were talking about are universal. They apply to every single radiometric dating process.
Yeah,
They're all inaccurate to the same degree.
I'm not
we can get a good idea.
trying to be rude,
No,
but
we really can't.
Mr.
We really can,
Belteshazzar,
though.
sorry, excuse me,
You
Mr.
pronounced it right.
Yes, Belteshazzar. I've been working on it. But Mr. Belteshazzar gave you the evidence against radiometric dating.
There are more sources for that.
You need to make one of two choices, right? You need to present evidence against Belteshazzar, or you need to change your views. Those are the only two logical options.
I don't think so.
Very
'cause
concise.
I think no.
Oh wait,
'cause
actually, hold on.
radiometric
There's a
dating
third
is-
option.
What is that?
There's a third option.
Repent
Remain in
ASAP.
ignorance.
That's fair. That's
It's
fair.
not ignorance. Radiometric dating is reliable, and it's not only
Says
that.
who?
We know how.
Okay. I'll ask
I mean, if
AI.
you're just gonna deny basic science, then
Okay.
It's
sure,
not really
everything
basic
could be-
science. You don't
it is
learn that in
basic
school.
science.
You learn that
You
there
do
is a
learn this in
process. Well,
school.
hold on. Pause for a second. You learn that there is a process called radiometric dating. You learn about
Mhm.
various dates that people have found. They don't teach you the process. They don't teach you the assumptions that it makes. They don't teach you
What school
the
did you go
objections to it. I just went to a public school when I was learning about all this stuff.
Public high school,
No, not high school.
so community
was-
college.
No, it was a public middle school at the time.
Okay, so of course they did not go into depth on any of that.
Well, I don't know of anybody that
Middle
learned
schoolers.
how to
Well,
properly
obviously they didn't
carbon
do
or
that in middle
radiometric date.
schoolers.
Well, hold on. I don't know of anybody that knows how to properly radiometrically date something based on their high school experience, their middle school experience, elementary, obviously. I don't
How
know of
does-
anybody that knows
okay,
that
I don't know
process at
anyone
all.
either.
So why don't you tell me then? How does
Because
radiometric
that's not
dating
a
work?
process used in middle school, high school, or elementary school.
Did you take a college class for it?
For what?
For this topic, for radiometric
I
dating,
didn't.
age of the Earth?
I
Okay,
didn't,
so
but I'm sure there
we
is
can agree
one.
that you and I are not necessarily educated on the matter. We did not take any sort of classes on it. But I can tell you one thing for certain. You do not want to put yourself in a position where you are just accepting what people give you without seeking it out for yourself. Go look into the objections to radiometric dating and then come back with an adequate answer. Until then,
Okay.
there's no point in debating about it. We're not
Okay, I
going
will
anywhere.
look into the objections, but
In fact, it could be really
Have you
easy.
cro-
All you got to do is look up on like Chat GPT.
No.
What
okay,
are the
should
objections?
should I do
and
that?
then-
Mute and come back?
Yeah.
Well, no, I suggest you do a bigger study, but
Okay, wait,
yeah.
no. Here's all you
I
gotta
will.
do.
I'll be gone for like
Wait,
10 minutes.
hold up. Here's all I say you do. Go to ICR, Institute for Creation Research, and just search problems with radiometric dating on their website.
Easy.
Yes, super easy. ICR is W. I'm pretty sure they've actually done some dumb
Type it in the
experiments.
chat, just by the way, so she can do
ICR.
it.
You just have to search ICR. Enter. Institute for Creation Research. But you can just search ICR and their website will pop up because they're so W. So Mr. Belteshazzar.
But I mean, ultimately, the whole argument was solved rather fast. It's simply put,
It's
the
when you
idea.
joined. But okay.
First
What,
of all,
what?
that wasn't the argument wasn't standalone. It was also the fact that the Earth's, according to physics, the Earth's existence is contingent on the sun. It could not have formed without the
And
sun.
Cool.
again, according to physics, God cannot exist, but he clearly does.
I think that there
We-
are.
Well, hold on.
That's,
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold
think
on,
that
back
is
up.
true.
What I was talking
either.
about a second ago is that it was solved in that these things are impossible without any sort of divine influence, but because God was very present at that time, it's perfectly fine. In fact, it's safer to say the Earth, the sun,
From
the
a
moon, the
cosmological
stars,
standpoint, yes.
the universe,
but
and all
from-
that in them is contingent on God. That would be the claim of Christianity.
Yeah, out of line.
I reject that claim. I will go back
Well, you
into
feel
reality.
free to do it.
Or else someone new joined. So, person, are you a good
Hello?
person?
I'm totally a good person.
You're totally a good person. All right. So I got a question.
Yep.
Can you answer these next questions 100% honestly?
All right, I got you.
So you're not gonna lie to me?
No,
Have you ever told a lie?
yep,
So that means you're a
Alright.
liar, correct?
nope. Well, yeah,
Have you
yeah.
told
but come on,
more
come
than
on.
one
Just tell me the
lie?
question.
Have you told
Just
more
tell me
than
the
one
questions.
lie? Have you told 2 lies in your life?
Yes,
That is the
yes.
definition of a liar, someone who tells multiple lies, right? Okay,
All right,
so
I don't care. Ask
you've
me more
just
questions.
admitted you're a
Okay,
liar. Next, have you
sorry,
ever
what was the
taken something
source
that wasn't
need
yours?
to look at because every single one is a
ICR.
Christian source.
Institute for Creation Research.
I'm sorry, were you hoping
Yeah,
to get
that is
a
a Christian
secular
source.
source on a Christian
Yes.
topic?
No, I was radiometric dating is
Right,
a
right. Hold on,
scientific
hold on,
topic,
hold on.
so I was hoping to get a scientific
So
source.
Okay, so ICR.
That just seems a little
Sorry,
odd,
can I
doesn't
hold
it?
up? Hold up.
What do you mean? It seems like a
ICR
what?
is an institution. They are perfectly scientific. They hire people with PhDs. They are just as reliable as any
Is it
other
the truth?
scientific
Is it
institution.
the truth about radiometric dating by staff writer?
I don't know
Oh,
which
wait, here,
specific
wait, hold on.
article. There are tons of them.
But like, I've got an idea of how to really kind of figure out this. Okay, so I think that the major issue that we're experiencing is we think that these are mutually exclusive claims, mutually exclusive evidence. Look at it more like 3 columns. The middle column is the truth, the fact, what we know. We know that there is carbon-14 in the atmosphere. We know that it decays from something else, and we can calculate the decay rate.
Mhm.
Now you have the assumptions, or rather the interpretations of that evidence. A creationist, a Christian, would look at that and see that there are many assumptions that it makes, so it can't be trusted. The person on the secular side might look at that and not look at the objections and view
Okay.
them as objectively correct. You need to be extra careful in that kind of behavior. I'll give you a better example. The middle column is that the Grand Canyon exists. The evolutionist side on the left might assume that that was formed over millions of years due to erosion from the Colorado River. And that's just the interpretation of the evidence. What we know is that the Grand Canyon exists.
Yeah.
We don't know how it was formed because we weren't there when it was first made.
Okay.
All right, we make assumptions. So evolutionist interpretation, now the creationist interpretation, is that during Noah's flood, it said the waters sprung forth from the deep. This would have cracked the earth and the water would have come rushing out and would have dug that thing out in about a week. So you've got 2 different interpretations of the same evidence. The evidence is not mutually exclusive. It does not bend only in one direction.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Colorado River, I think it exists. I think it exists.
Yeah.
Well, the Colorado River definitely exists. Now, whether or not that river in and of itself carved out the canyon is what is for debate on this.
Wait,
Yeah,
Mr.
but
we don't think it's
Belteshazzar, have you ever seen it?
Oh, have I
Seen
ever
what,
seen
the
it?
Colorado
On the
River?
screen-
Or the Grand
On the
Canyon?
screen, I have.
I've seen photos, seen
Oh.
videos. It's pretty interesting.
I live
So
in
you just
Arizona.
reject all science.
No, we do
No,
not reject
Don't put
science.
words in my mouth, please.
I'm asking. No, it was a question. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Nah, you just looked it up and found
No,
it.
we don't
That
reject
wasn't a
science.
question. That was an imperative statement. You just
That
said,
wasn't a
so
Well,
you
I tend
making
to
the claim of what
okay,
I
listen,
believe.
I
That's not
tend to
cool.
question people like that, which is why I clarify myself after.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair.
It doesn't matter if you clarify yourself. No, hold on. That
It
wasn't
does,
fair. You
'cause
just put words
it
in my
was-
mouth. You
no,
just
it was a
assumed the conclusion
question.
based on what I said and had nothing to do with
Doesn't
what I was
sound like-
talking about.
I
That's
was
not fair.
no, my intent with saying that was hoping you would answer yes, I believe that, or no, I don't.
That's not a question. You would have to phrase
I
it as
didn't-
a
Sorry,
question.
just
That
say
was an
real
imperative
quick.
And I'm
statement.
sorry.
Real quick,
I should
just
have,
say
and
it.
I'm sorry.
Real quick,
Most
just
people
sorry.
understand when I talk like that.
Just say it again, real quick, but say you like right before it. Just be like,
There you go.
do you
ahead.
reject all science?
Of course not.
Okay.
Science is actually one of my favorite hobbies. I like to
Mhm.
look into science. It's an awesome field,
I love biology,
especially the
right?
areas of information sciences. Those are my favorite.
I really like biology,
Okay,
and
so
I'm not a monkey.
there was no
Disclaimer.
source. If you have a source
Uh-huh.
that is denying radiometric dating and saying it's terribly inaccurate, because we can get a good idea with it, but all of the sources I looked up were
Right,
all
because you only
religious.
took 5 minutes to do like a couple hours of work. Go look into it more. Don't be lazy
Okay.
about it.
Hold up 1 second. We're talking about radiometric dating.
Is there any sources that aren't
Radiometric dating.
Because that's what I would like to look at.
I
Non-theistic
don't know.
sources.
I don't know about any non-theistic sources because it's the whole science is proving God's creation. I don't
No,
I don't
radiometric
understand the premise
dating
there.
is completely
How about you give me a
separate from God.
non-secular source that supports your hypothesis there?
Radiometric dating? A non-secular source? That's
Yeah,
like all of
non-secular
them.
source that talks about how you can radiometrically date
Oh, a
things that came from
non-secular
the sun.
source. No, because religion doesn't have to do with that. Because
Religion.
religion
Well,
doesn't
we're
make
not
any
discussing
sense.
religion, and Christianity is not religion in the normal sense.
I am discussing. I'm discussing Genesis 1. That was the
Genesis
whole
1,
reason I came
chapter
up here.
1.
It doesn't
Okay.
make sense.
Okay.
It doesn't have to make sense to you.
Sorry, go through your argument one more time. Belteshazzar was not here originally. Just really
But
quick.
the issue is you can't even argue against it either.
Sorry,
No, of
hold
course I can.
sorry, hold
No,
up.
I'm talking. I'm
Just
not talking to you.
Go through your argument one more time so that Mr. Belteshazzar can hear it.
So, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's talking about the actual earth because the Hebrew translation, any instance where this word comes up, let's look at what it is.
I'm familiar. He's
Yeah,
talking about
Harris.
the
He's
earth, the
talking
one
about
and
the
only earth
earth.
that we currently
Yep.
live on. Yes.
And then he's talking, and then the next lines, he's talking about how it had water.
You reading a
Couldn't have had
script?
water without. No, I'm reading my thoughts and I'm reading off of the creation. I have the Bible Gateway pulled up. I'm looking at Genesis 1.
Okay.
But anyways, it says the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. We know he's talking about actual waters because, and I'm
I
switching
know.
between the Hebrew translations. It was talking about actual waters. Okay, and then the next line. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening, there was morning, the first day. So that's talking about the sun.
No, that is not talking about the sun there. You have two
Are you
different
saying the
Hebrew
sun was
words.
talking about the fourth day?
No, he creates the sun. Yeah, he creates that later on the fourth day.
But
What
regardless,
he's
that's
referring
arbitrary.
to there. Well, hold on. You've got two different Hebrew words there for light. One means the source of the light, which would be the sun, and the other one is light itself. The first term used is light itself. See, God was that light. He was the light before the sun. The sun was made later.
Which lines are you talking about?
Let me
And
pull it
God
up.
said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Is
You
that
need
what
to
the
be
words you're
very,
talking
very
about?
careful in this territory.
You won't be able to
Because-
find it.
In that line, it was the same word of hour. I mean, it's not really relevant to my point. We don't have to talk about this.
Well, you've got a false premise. If you have a false premise, we can't proceed.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Regardless, it was that the sun was created after the earth, and that
Right,
is
of course it
true
was.
regardless.
But it wasn't created
of-
there.
Yeah, but it's still true regardless of if it was the first day or the fourth.
Yo, your chat tagged.
Huh?
Is it
Oh.
not
Yeah,
still
it's-
true that the sun was created after the earth if it was on day 1 or day 4?
Of course it was. That's not what
So
I'm
then
objecting to.
it's
You
not
just had a
real.
false
Oh, so
premise
then
there
what are
because
you
you were
objecting
establishing
to?
that. I just simply objected that when you said the fifth verse,
You
when
won't be
God
able
called the
to
light
find
day,
it.
that
Okay,
whole
and
deal
I'm
when he
saying
made
it's
the light, that's
arbitrary.
not the
I'm
sun.
saying it's not a false premise because it's arbitrary. It could have been the first day or it could have been the 4th. The point is, it
Well,
was
no,
after
your
the Earth.
premise, your whole idea here isn't a false objection. I'm saying that you got it wrong when you said that when he said "Let there be light" and there was light, he was referring to the sun. That's
Okay,
false.
maybe he wasn't, but that's still he still
You don't
made the
have to
sun
keep
after the
arguing
Earth.
that point. I was just correcting you on that basis.
No,
We
I'm
can
not
continue.
arguing the point. I'm just saying, even if it was the
So your
4th
whole
day,
idea is simply that the Earth was made before the sun, and that's impossible to you.
yes, that's not
All
impossible
right, well
to me.
then I
That's
already
impossible
solved
in
it because
physics.
it doesn't matter if it's impossible in physics. This was made by God. God is what it was contingent upon. So with God, it's
But we
not
know that
impossible.
didn't happen.
What? Let me ask you something though. If you're not a Christian, that's what I'm assuming. Why are you so concerned about a book of the Bible? Because if you're not reconciled to God through Jesus Christ, you've got much bigger
I'm
problems than
agnostic.
if the earth was made before the sun. That's not
fair.
I'm
an
agnostic.
issue.
You're
Because here,
agnostic.
hold on, let's back up for a second because
No
this seems
wisdom,
like a
man.
really pointless conversation. So
It's
we've
not.
got hold on. Do you know what an internal critique is?
Yes.
So you're appealing to my source, the Bible. That's the internal
Mm-hmm.
critique. Throw out the whole premise because you're not Christian to begin with.
The point
You've got
is
much
that
bigger
we know
problems
it
than,
didn't happen that
than the
way.
earth being made before the sun. Because like I said, this is possible with God. It's impossible without God. So there, solved. Are you clapping?
Yeah.
Yeah, Addison.
We just know it didn't happen like that, though. But I mean,
No. You
Sure.
don't know that it didn't happen. You weren't there.
we
Nobody
know
was.
it
That's not the
didn't
point. We don't
happen
have any
because of
written documents
radiometric
aside from the
dating,
Bible.
which you failed to disprove.
Radiometric dating doesn't do
You
anything for that.
you disproved it by reading a religious source.
Actually, I wasn't reading any source right there. I was
Okay,
kind of summarizing groups of sources.
Yeah, sorry.
But
hold
yeah,
up.
this has officially become a waste of time.
Yeah, hold
But
up.
then where are the sources
sorry.
outside of theistic sources
Yo,
that
I want to
are...
say, one thing. Every single source you look up is a religious source, whether it was
Yo.
written by an atheist or a Christian. They're trying to support their own religious beliefs. If we want to look at the definition of a religion and prove an atheist, they're
Not
what
in
they're
regards to
trying to
radiometric
prove.
dating.
If they're trying to prove that God didn't exist and couldn't create it,
No,
that is
no. My
a
whole point
religious
is I'm
concept.
asking.
Let me just
for
ask
a
her one
secular
question, and then we can
source
settle
that
this right now,
says
okay?
radiometric dating is inaccurate.
Describe to me the exact process of how you radiometrically date something.
You just measure the decay of an element.
That's not it.
How do
You need to be
That
more
is it.
specific.
Okay, hold
Okay,
up
so
one
what about the
second.
daughter
I'll ask
isotopes? What about that part?
I don't know exactly.
Do you know how to
Describe
measure the rate of
exact
decay?
process to
No, but is it
radiometrically
wrong?
date something.
Yeah, it is. Do you
How?
know which
Identified
elements you are
material,
measuring
only
that come
rocks
from the
or
sun?
The
fossils with
radioactive
radioactive isotopes.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
like
that's
uranium,
many of
carbon,
them. All
It's
right,
can be
come
thallium.
on.
dated.
I didn't hear you
Take a
from
clean
Thallium.
sample,
thallium.
What does
avoiding
thallium decay
contamination.
into or
In the
decay
lab,
from?
crush it into a fine
I'm not
powder.
100. I
Then,
think it's like
use a
radium.
mass spectroscopy
Okay,
Yeah.
and
to
what
measure
is
the
the
ratio
half-life
of
of
parent
radium?
isotopes,
I'm
like
not
uranium
100% sure.
238, to
You
lead
need to be
products,
100%
like lead
certain
206.
Well,
if you're going to
people
argue
Compare
argue
on
this
this
that
ratio
basis. So
I'm
let's
to the
not
go
the
known
with it.
half-life
scientist
of
that
the isotope.
radiometrically dated
Say,
the sun.
Right, so
4.5
the same
billion
way that
look
I
years of
further
appeal to
into
the
uranium
the
Bible,
238.
well, hold on, the same way
Plug
that I
that into
appeal
a
to the
decay
Bible with
equation.
faith is the same way
Age
you're appealing to
equals
the
1
scientists
over
with
decay
faith.
It's
You
constant.
not
have
faith
faith in what they
though.
say. You didn't
literally
verify
is.
any of their claims.
You can look
Unfortunately,
into it.
the
I didn't
Bible
look that
actually
deep
tells us
into
to
it.
verify each and every claim that it makes.
But
It
if
gives
you
us
would
that
love to
authority.
tell me how that is,
Thank you.
Oh, yo.
Sorry, that was going
Bro-
nowhere.
Bro
Just
dropped
had
her.
to
Bro
continue.
dropped her. That's fine. Although I feel like there's okay, let's forget about that, right? Let's forget about that, and let's come up here because you have a much bigger problem than how the world was made, right? We're gonna talk about your bigger
but you don't
problem.
understand
Are you
why
a good
it must be a
person?
secular source.
You
though.
don't even know what
Because it's a
radiometric
scientific
dating is.
concept.
I would not speak on it unless you have proper education first.
But I don't have any proper education, nor do you, on theology. So why are we debating some theological stuff?
What?
You're by
Are you talking to me or her?
Belteshazzar. I'm talking to you. You don't have any. You said you hadn't gone to seminary.
Have you gone to seminary?
No.
Has anybody?
I don't
Dude,
think
seminary
so.
is useless.
Oh.
Like, it's actually worse than useless. They actually teach you false things from the Bible. Like,
Really?
it's a serious problem. these
Doesn't
days.
that
I
kind
don't
of
trust
depend
any
on the
seminary
seminary?
that tell me the truth.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it does.
like
I'm
you
sure
can-
that there are some good ones, but they're not populated by many. People are going the way of the world. They're not going towards Christ. Not today, anyways.
then you shouldn't exist. Goodbye, Mr.
Okay.
Belteshazzar. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know about that so much, but the thing is
Hey,
you don't need to be a theology professor to teach
Mm-hmm.
or even study theology. The same way you don't need to go to college to learn about radiometric dating. Just look into it, but be
that's
aware
true.
that there are objections.
Yeah.
And I looked into those objections, and I found the objections to weigh more than the supporting.
Oh wait,
It's really that simple.
Mr. Belteshazzar. Once we're done with this person, I want to hear your testimony, because that sounds.
Oh,
bet
I
it's
don't
gonna
like to
be
talk about that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
But-
want to talk about it.
But the Bible
He only
commands us to
told
share
me.
testimonies.
Well, he only told
Not
me.
necessarily an imperative command, unless you can pull up something that I haven't seen yet. But the point is I don't like talking about it because it's really depressing.
It's
Yeah,
depressing.
and I'm
Alright.
also one of the people that knows his testimony, but I ain't going to speak on it.
Not
either.
even so, and I haven't talked to you about it.
Nah. Oh, I'm
Maybe only a
doomed.
snippets of it.
When
Not
people
full.
ask me, I literally just say one day I wasn't and one day I was.
Really? That's one of those things where I really
Oh, and
wanna
then it
know
was like a year of being bullied by Orthodox and Catholic Christians. That sucked.
Oh
Yeah.
man, no
First
wonder
Orthodox, then
you
Catholic.
disagree with them so much, right? That's not fun.
It wasn't even on anything that was like. There's a saying that I'm trying to live by, right? I heard it first from Chuck Missler, who got it from his wife, Nancy Missler. Something along the lines of in non-essentials, unity, in essentials, unity, in non-essentials, liberty, in all things, agape. Agape being the Greek word for love without bounds. And that's something I'm trying to embody, really get down straight. But when I was in a situation where I was around a lot of Catholics and Orthodox, they will chew you up over the non-essentials, things that are not contingent on your salvation, things that don't ultimately matter all that much. Whether you believe, I don't know, if you believe that Melchizedek was Jesus Christ, or if he was simply a shadow of Jesus Christ, or these non-essential issues, it doesn't really matter what they are. They'll rip you a new one for not agreeing with them.
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't apply to all of them, but from everyone I've seen in that.
So,
Me too.
Mr. Belteshazzar, did you grow up in a Christian house or anything like that?
Oh yeah, went to church for a good amount of time. Went atheist for a period, and then back to Christianity.
Okay,
Lukewarm
that's
Christian for a period, and then I locked in only at the beginning of this year.
Of
And you're
2025,
already
yep.
this knowledgeable.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot. You just need to actually stay in the Word as much
And
as
I
you
was-
possibly can.
That's pretty good.
I was with him through the process ever since I met him last year, and he has been developing, and he has also changed my mind on personal perspectives, and I verified for the scriptures that he told me to.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Berean call.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. I like that.
Of course,
like
I
that.
think me and Soren actually do have opposing views on certain things too.
Oh yeah.
That's just a part of the liberty
It's not
in
big
Christ.
deal, though.
So
It's not-
why?
I think that he still holds to the pre-tribulation rapture. I kind of hold to a post-tribulation pre-wrath. It's a little
think
different.
so. I don't know, but I haven't learned.
Though
much about that, so.
there's
Okay,
so
wait,
much
wait.
evidence on the rapture, it's
Wait,
crazy.
back to me questioning you to squeeze out information on your life.
I'll answer questions. I just won't go into specifics. I don't like to give that much information.
Hold up one
Same with
second.
me. So also, what about you guys? New ones? I haven't seen you guys speak a lot. If you don't want to speak, that's fine.
Hey guys.
Oh, there you go. You got any question?
I gotta be quiet for a little bit.
Questions? No, not really.
All right then, that's cool.
Wait, what denomination? One question, my bad.
If
None
you
of
want to be very specific, none. Non-denominational, but I don't want to take that title either.
certain titles come with certain unfair prejudice, so we just tend to avoid them.
Okay.
You're live right now.
Anyways, I'm gonna take off for a bit because Nick is gonna call me. But you guys have a good night.
All right.
Have a good night, man. God
God
bless.
bless.
Oh, also, by the way,
Adios.
look up. I know that Belek is streaming, so I'll also just say Kent Hovind seminars, Answers in Genesis Canada. You really can't go wrong with either of those sources, and they're really, really fun to watch. So, yeah, watch them.
Mhm.
Soren, if you're going to stay in this room, keep promoting those two things. Answers in Genesis, Kent Hovind. All right.
I
Yes,
always
everyone.
do. Yeah, I always do when it comes to evolution. All right.
But it has to be Answers in Genesis Canada.
Really can't go wrong with either of those sources.
Well, I'm probably going to get going too. So, what do you know? God bless.
Soren, if you're going to stay in
I'm
this
not really allowed to talk.
Yo.
Genesis, Kent Hovind.
Are you delayed or what are you watching?
Yo, I did not realize how quiet my microphone is.
Yeah, that's chill.
Holy, my microphone is so quiet.
I don't think it's
So what am I
quiet.
supposed to
I think you're good. I think you're good. I can't hear you now. I'm not really allowed to talk. I think I'll probably leave. I gotta go. Goodbye.
Alright,
Bye.
adios. Adios.
Don't leave,
Why?
please.
I'm not allowed to talk.
just
Please, please don't leave.
Like it's
I gotta go. Goodbye.
Please, no.
No,
Keep
no, 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 no.